We're preparing to go live on YouTube. Mrs. Norman, I will share the screen first, and then I'll give you the thumbs up.
All right. The I'm a Stop Foundation presents Parenting During the Pandemic, a survival guide to help our parents survive. Good evening, parents and friends. Good evening, parents and friends, once again, and welcome to our Parent Empowerment Forum. On behalf of the I'm a Stop Foundation and the Duval County Public Schools, I would like to thank you for tuning in this evening as we provide you with information that we hope will empower you to help your child have a year full of fun, learning, and new adventures. Parents, during this pandemic, we would like to think about what you're going through and what we can do to assist you. So we would like to begin this evening session by having you focus on a very powerful video. This very powerful video and opening on parenting will be presented to you by the outstanding individual who developed a platform for all children to develop their inner potential and become the star that they were born to be. And ladies and gentlemen, so the I'm a Star Foundation was born. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the source of so much of the inspiration in the city of Jacksonville, the dynamic founder and CEO of the I'm a Star Foundation, Miss Betty Seabrook Burney. Miss Burney.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Norman, and to all of the parents who are listening to us on YouTube live tonight. We just want to say to you that we are so happy that you could be with us. And what I'm going to do right now is share with you, as Mrs. Norman said, a very powerful video on parenting. And as you look at this on your YouTube screen, I want you to just really take a listen to everything that is being said and kind of come up with one or two things that you think might be something that you can take with you in order to empower your child.
A great parent is not the one who gives the most money, not the one who gives the most toys, not the one who gives the best place to live. A great parent is the one who gives attention. To be a great parent, all you need to do is be present with your child. Not give presents, be present. That's all kids really want. They want you to notice them, to be loved, to be wanted. The best parent is the one whose eyes light up when their child enters the room. The parent who makes a promise to love unconditionally. The parent who leads by example. Not by what you say, but by what you do. Kids will never pay attention to your words, They will always and only pay attention to your actions and your intentions. A great parent works on themselves. A great parent makes their own mind strong, knowing their kids will likely follow in their footsteps. Heal yourself. Make your own mind strong, so your children can see the clearest example of what a great life looks like. Setting a clear and strong example of what type of human being you want your kids to become starts with you. It's up to you to set the example of kindness and compassion toward others, to set the example of what it is like to be yourself, to set the example of living a magical life that you choose. That's what a great parent does. Set their child free. Allow them to be themselves. Allow them to make their own decisions. Live your life in such a way that when your kids think of kindness, compassion, strength, authenticity, and real joy, they think of you. A great parent knows not to allow anything in their life they don't want their children to reproduce in their lives. That includes toxic relationships. That includes bad habits. That includes making decisions based on fear. A great parent listens. They don't lecture. A great parent supports, never shames. A great parent guides and sets free. Being a parent is not a job, it's a privilege. Being a parent is not a burden, it's a blessing. They are always watching. What kind of role model will you be for your children?
All right, a great parent, a great parent. So I know that we have some parents on the line with us, but we have lots of parents who are visiting us on our YouTube, and Mrs. Norman will tell you later how to make sure that you sign in. But I'm just gonna ask one or two parents who are sitting with us tonight on the Zoom. I know that we have Miss Denise Dawson. Miss Dawson, can you share with us something that you got out of that video with regards to a great parent?
Having the privilege to produce something extraordinary, something awesome, someone special, endearing.
Exactly, exactly. I see that we have Ms. McNeil on the line, and Ms. McNeil, I know that you may have come in a little bit late, but we're so happy to have you as our Parent of the Month from the Gear Up, and so happy that you decided to join us tonight. But just by what you saw on the video, what comes to your mind with regards to a great parent?
With me being a great parent, I'm always involved, spending time with them and listening to them, just making sure that their needs are met with the child itself. That's what I pretty much took from the video.
Excellent. And let me tell you what I took from the video. What I took from the video were two things. Number one, a great parent leads by example, and that your children learn not by what you say, but by what you do. And I also took something that I'll try to make sure that I carry with me with regards to my own two children, is that being a parent is not a job, it's a privilege. So it has been my privilege to share that video with you tonight, and I'll turn it back over to Mrs. Norman, who I know will introduce one of our district leaders tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Burney. Once again, the Amistad Foundation and Duval County Public Schools are very happy to present this forum tonight, and most especially, we're happy to have you with us. It makes us very happy when our guests share with us. So Mrs. Burney has introduced some, but at this time, it gives me great pleasure to present a very special guest. This is a guest who is, of course, on the district level. But the humbling thing about our guest is that he just takes such great pride in his ability to work effectively with the parents, the teachers, all the leaders and the partners in the district. And of course, this helps to make us succeed. So we're very proud and pleased to have with us tonight our Executive Director of Discipline and Student Support. Certainly someone who's been very effective in helping us all to succeed. Welcome, Mr. Simmons, and please pause and take a word this evening.
Thank you so much for allowing me to have a word. I really want to start off, before I say anything about the district and all of the initiatives, I really just want to say, I'm a parent. I have two young men that are still in school. And Miss Burney, what I got away from that is, even though my schedule is busy, even though I take care of 130,000 other students, I cannot rightfully neglect my own kids. So what I got out of that is certainly something that I try to do each and every day, and that is to be present when they have things, when they need me at home, when they need to have a conversation. It's so hard raising African-American men these days. And I count it a blessing to be able to expound upon them what it looks like to have a father, in the house, to have a father to go out and provide so that they don't have to give them some advantages that I certainly did not have growing up. So what I learned, Ms. Burney, was to be present, to sometimes leave the DCPS work right where it is, and certainly be present with my own children each and every day. So that's my 2 cents about what I learned about the video. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jackie Simmons Jr. I'm the Executive Director of Discipline and Student Support Services. My team and I are responsible for just about all of the wraparound services that students receive in Duval County Public Schools. And I count it all joy to know that I'm partnering with the I'm a Star Foundation under the leadership of Ms. Betty Burney to work with our students at the Bridge to Success, which is also a program that I oversee. Now, I said Bridge to Success, but I want everybody to know Ms. Burney's reach goes far beyond the students at the Bridge to Success. She's an integral part, and the I'm a Star Foundation is an integral part of what we do for children throughout Duval County Public Schools, which encompasses 130,000 students. And I'm also pleased to say that even though we have no control over this global pandemic, we do have control over the services that we provide our children, whether they are in brick and mortar, whether they are in Duval homeroom, whether they are being challenged in the classroom, whether they are being challenged socially, emotionally, or mentally. I know that I'm a Star stands in the gap. So I am so pleased to be able to work and share in this partnership. I am so pleased about the work that's going on. But more importantly, tonight, I am so pleased that we have an opportunity to engage parents around what's happening with regard to this pandemic, strengthening our skills. And while I have 2 young men, as a parent, I still don't know it all. That there are some things that happen that I just shake my head to and say, oh Lord, what am I going to do? And sometimes I don't understand the decisions that my sons make, but I have to sometimes take a step back and just listen. And that was another thing that I found in the video that resonated with me. Sometimes we just got to stop talking. Sometimes we just got to listen. And in listening, they'll lead you to what they need. So certainly, Ms. Burney, I'm a Star Foundation, Ms. Norman, all of you guys who do so much work for us in this district each and every day. Whenever I call, you're there, regardless of what the need is. So for that, we're eternally grateful. I know that the superintendent shares the same sentiment with regard to the work that you're doing for our young people each and every day. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm excited to see what's coming on next.
All right. Great.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Simmons. You certainly made our evening. You made us happy, your presence, and we certainly appreciate it. Of course, we can't go out that much this year, but I would always see him from one end of the district to the other. So he is so sincere, and we appreciate him. So thanks again. And once again, I want to mention that this presentation is open to all of our school-age children, our elementary kids, but our special guest school tonight is the Bridge to Success at West Jack, whose principal is Ms. Leah Pryor, and whose school counselor is Ms. LaSonia Rent. So they are our special guests tonight, and hopefully, parents, you're viewing on YouTube. And I want to remind you that you sign in, parents. Don't forget to sign in tonight. Just follow the description on YouTube, and there is a link, and just click on that link and sign in. And the best about this, parent, that I know I'm not the only one who gets excited about this. You'll be signing up so we can do that drawing and get that gift card. Just want to remind you, so you hold on, and we're gonna get to that drawing. So be sure that you sign in. Also, parents, before we assist you in empowering your children during this pandemic, we want to take just a few minutes to give you a few tips that we hope will help you reduce some of the stress and anxiety in your lives. I know you're saying at this point, is that possible? It is possible. We can give you some few basic tips that we hope will help you to feel just a little bit better. So coming to assist you with coping tips will be Miss Victoria Perry. And Miss Perry is our STAR mentoring coordinator for our elementary school. She's our STAR mentoring coordinator. And so I see it already to give you those tips. Okay, Miss Perry.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here tonight to share just a little bit tips on how to navigate through this crazy time that we're in. So on the screen, we have stress management skills that we can use to kind of reduce stress and anxiety. One of my favorite ones on here is to slow down. I know right now our homes are becoming school offices. They're becoming work offices. They're becoming the cafeteria. We're doing so much, but sometimes we have to just slow down and just take a breather. Also, if you could, throughout the week, make a weekly goal list of things that you want to accomplish for just that week, and check those things off. And it's okay if you only do one thing, because one thing shows that you're progressing to the next step. So always make a little to-do list, check off what you're doing, and celebrate those little accomplishments, because sometimes I think we overwork ourselves and we feel like we aren't doing enough. But if we slow down, make our list, and celebrate those little accomplishments, we'll feel so much better about ourselves. And another way to reduce stress and anxiety is to always release things that we cannot control. So this pandemic, we cannot control this pandemic. We didn't know it was coming. We didn't know what was going to happen. But what we can do is wash our hands, make sure we're following the CDC guidelines, making sure we're wearing our masks on our mouths, not under our nose, amen, but on our face, covering our nose and our mouth, so we can do what we need to do to flatten the curve and get back to normal life as we all hope and wish. So if screenshot was on the screen, just so you can remember and check these things out, but to remember to always slow down, make a list, set goals, and check out the things that you've done, and celebrate yourself, celebrate your children, celebrate you, making it through another day. Because every day is hard. So every day that you make it, pat yourself on the back and say, I did it and I'm proud of myself. So I hope those help you all.
Yes, they're helpful, Miss Perry. They certainly helped me, and it's so true. And thank you so much for that. Celebrate yourselves, parents. You deserve to be celebrated. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to present to you the focus of this evening's parent session: survival, the beginner's guide to exploration. As a result of this, we don't want you to just survive, but we hope that you will thrive. So at this time, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the young lady who's going to present this intriguing section. And she is Miss Monye Dawson, who wears several hats. She is the Student Success Coordinator for our Bridge to Success schools. And she is also the STAR Mentoring Coordinator for our Bridge to Success middle schools. So please help me welcome Miss Monye Dawson. Miss Dawson.
Hello, parents. Hello, students. How are we this evening? I just got back from this safari that I've been on, and let me tell y'all, it's the jungle out there, literally, because we are in the middle of a pandemic. We don't know what's going on. We don't know how we're going to make it, but I'm here to tell you, I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks tonight. They sort of kind of make everything easier. It's for parents and students. So some of the things that I have in my survival kit are common household items that we can find. If you can't find them in the house and you don't have your survival kit, they're easy enough to go out and obtain. So just sit back and relax, and for the next about 15 minutes, you're going to go on this safari with me. So I hope you guys came prepared. All right. So the first thing that we're going to need before we go anywhere is a roadmap. If I'm setting out on a journey, a road trip, a flight somewhere, once I land, I need a GPS, right? Especially if it's uncharted territory, kind of like the pandemic that we're in right now. Nobody's ever been in this, so it's new territory. So what's the first thing I need? It's my roadmap. What happens if I don't have a roadmap or a GPS? Anybody, go ahead and unmute your mics, because this is a interactive forum. Those of you who are on YouTube, you can feel free to drop the answers in the comments. But if you're on the Zoom tonight, I need you guys to tell me what happens if you lose your GPS, you don't have MapQuest sheets printed out. That's before some of y'all times. But what happens if you don't have your map? You get lost, right? I'm not the only one. I was born and raised in Jacksonville, lived here until I went off to college, came back. I still don't know my way around Jacksonville, y'all. Like, if you ask me for directions, you're gonna be lost right along with me. So one thing I need is my GPS. So with my GPS, it's gonna tell me where I need to go. So one thing that's gonna be in my Explorer's pack is a memo pad, or just simply something to write on, okay? With your memo pad or a notebook, you can list goals for the week, as Victoria mentioned before. You can list accomplishments. I don't try to make it too long. I always stick to what I want to get done that week versus that month, because short-term goals are on my short notebook memo pad. All right, you can make a list of the things, the assignments that you have coming up as students, as parents. If I have more than 2 things on my grocery list, it's getting written down, because I'm going to forget it and wind up spending $200 at Publix when I only went enough for bread and milk. Okay, so make sure you have your roadmap, because it keeps you focused. For kids and our students, one of the things with writing things down and making lists, it improves your handwriting, because if I don't understand what I just wrote, it's no good to me. So it improves handwriting. It helps them with their organizational skills. And like Ms. Burney mentioned before, parents lead by example. They learn their organizational skills from parents. So if they see you jotting down notes and using some of the other things that's coming up in my Explorer's pack, they're going to be a lot more organized when it comes to schoolwork as well. Another thing with your roadmap, school information. Please, please, please make sure that the school has all of your updated information, parents. One of the things that we run into when it's time for us to connect with our parents is that the numbers or the emails aren't on file. So please, please, please make sure that you have everything you need to have on file with the school. If you change your number or address, please, all you have to do is make a simple phone call, update your information, and they can contact you. A lot of information is going out via email because of the pandemic. So papers, flyers and everything aren't going to go home as much. So please make sure you have a good email address on file. Set a schedule. That's another thing that you can do with your memo pad. When your kid gets home, homework time, or in the case of my daughter, I have a 10-year-old who's in 5th grade. So the first thing we do when she comes home, hop in the shower, because that's one of the things that we're going to talk about when we talk about being prepared, especially in a pandemic. Got to get those germs off you. So she's fresh and clean before she even starts her homework. All right. Set a time for homework time. Set a time for TV and video game time. Make sure they're doing the homework first. Kids are more likely to get finished with their homework, number one, faster, and number two, more accurately, because the information is still fresh in their brains when they get home. If I come home and I'm a kid and I start watching the TV, as soon as I get home, it's going to take me a lot longer to get my homework done because my brain is tuned into the TV and not to what my teacher said 2 hours ago. The next thing in my traveler's pack is a compass. Compasses tell us which direction we're going in, right? So I need to know up from down, north from south, left from right, east from west, correct? We need a compass in addition to that roadmap, because the roadmap means nothing if I don't know which direction I'm going in. So for your compass, you have a planner. All right. Now planners come in all different shapes and sizes. This one is about a medium size. You have pocket planners. You have the big giant ones that you can stick on the wall. I actually haven't opened mine yet, but I will be using it. It's one of the peel and stick ones. It's not a magnet, it's a peel and stick. So this can go anywhere. All right. And it's big enough, if you can see it, I'm gonna hold it back a little bit so that when you walk past this bad boy, you're gonna see it. All right. So if I put my important dates on my giant calendar, nothing can catch me off guard. If it's Monday and I review my calendar and I see that my child has an assignment due on Friday or a test coming up on Friday, it can't catch me off guard, and it can't catch my child off guard because they know, okay, you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe Friday morning if you need to study for that test or to get ready for that assignment. If I open up my calendar and it's already Thursday, I have zero time to prepare. All right, so you want to make sure you use your compass, because a planner is no good if you don't use it. This is my personal calendar. I color code things. I love colors. I'm a visual learner. So whenever I have things for work, they're in blue. Things with my daughter are in black. Dentist appointments. I got an eye doctor's appointment in here in orange. And my birthday right here in pink. It's on y'all. It's on Tuesday. So happy early birthday to me, which I honestly forgot about because my week has been so busy until I opened up my calendar today. So it works. All right. You also have a calendar right here on your phone. All right. With your phone's calendars, not only can you set reminders like the day of, you can set reminders the whole week before. So that's the wonderful thing about technology. So if you have a laptop, if you have a tablet or a smartphone, anybody can use it as a compass, aka your calendar, to make sure your important dates are there. Another thing, these focus accounts, that is also your compass in conjunction with your roadmap. Your child's focus accounts has everything in the palm of your hands that you need. You can see their schedule. You can see their grades, especially because report cards are coming out. And if you have not logged on to their focus to figure out what those progress report grades were, you need to do that yesterday. All right. If you do not have a parent focus account, please, please, please make sure you go to duvalschools.org and create one. And I kid you not, your child knows how to log into their focus account. So they can either help you walk through making your own, or you can simply hop on theirs and don't take, oh, I don't know how to log on. They do. Trust me, they do. So make sure you see those grades. Another thing, when you go through their focus account and onto Teams, especially if you're virtual, their entire schedule is right there, along with links. If you click on their teachers' names, it takes you directly to their email address. So if there's a problem, if you're not sure what the child should be doing next, you can always reach out and contact that teacher. The next thing in my handy dandy survival kit is protective gear. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Make sure you have your face masks, and they come in all different types of colors. So you can get your child's favorite color face mask if they're saying, well, oh, I don't want to wear it. It doesn't make me look cool. Okay, get one that matches their outfit. You can even make the cloth ones at home. There are YouTube tutorials. You can check out Pinterest, Google on how to make your own. So all you have to do is go to Walmart, get you some fabric. And the great thing about the fabric masks is that they're reusable. These little ones aren't. As soon as you come home from wherever you go or from school, toss these in the trash. Do not use these the next day. The cloth masks, though, you can either hand wash them, toss them in the washing machine, and you're good to go again. In addition to that, a face shield. Face shields are lovely, but they are not effective by themselves. It irks me when I see people in the grocery store with just the face mask on. This doesn't do anything but shield your eyes. That's it. You have to have a face shield in conjunction with your mask, just like you don't have, like you need your roadmap with the compass, you need your face shield with the mask, okay? Because you're protecting other people at that point. People who wear glasses, it's almost like we have a face shield already on because it covers you a little bit better. But please, if you're gonna go the face shield route because you want people to see, you know, your nice face, is ineffective without the mask. And hand sanitizer. Get the mini ones to drop in your kids' book bags. They also have little lanyards, little holders that you can put your sanitizer in so they can clip it to their belts or their book bags or their little purses if they need to. And hand washing. In case of being not able to hand wash, sanitizer is perfect. But if they can, they even make the little soap sheets just in case there isn't any physical soap in the location that you're at. But 20 seconds, hum the birthday song, whatever chorus of whatever their favorite song is, make sure they're doing that. And of course, social distancing. The next thing in my pack is a first aid kit. So if I'm exploring the jungle and I cut my arm, of course I need my alcohol, I might need my Neosporin and a Band-Aid, right? Because accidents happen. If I'm flipping through a notebook, I might get a paper cut on my finger because stuff happens. In the sense of a survival kit for parents and students, though, less than satisfactory grades might happen. Okay, so in the case of this first aid kit that we're going to use tonight, it's all about motivation. So right here with me, I have a bag of candy, but motivation doesn't always have to be in the form of a treat, a sweet treat. Okay, motivation can be anything. You can use your memo pads to write down accomplishments that your child has. We always want to focus on the positive things because in the midst of a pandemic, things are topsy-turvy. My daughter is working from home now. And one of the things that she struggles with is staying focused in front of a computer all day. It's hard. She's a kid. I don't even like to be in front of a computer all day. So I can't just keep nagging her about doing it without focusing on positive reinforcement as well. Because once you start just, you know, to a kid all the time, it breaks them down and their self-esteems drop. They need to be able to encourage themselves, and we as parents have to encourage them too. So set little goals and make treats for themselves. So maybe if they get all of their assignments out of the way by a certain time, okay, we have an assignment due on Friday. If you get it done by Wednesday early, here's what we'll do. We'll do a family craft together. Because again, it doesn't have to be candy. I like to reward myself with food. So maybe, you know, it depends on the person. But one of the things that my daughter did for me was make my awesome goggles. So we did a craft together. Starting a family hobby together is something that can motivate your child. It also promotes family time. And we all need that because it makes your child they open up to you more. If we're sitting here with glue and cardboard and cutting, I guarantee your child is going to start a conversation about school. They'll tell you more about their friends. They'll tell you more about their assignments. They might say, well, hey, mom, hey, dad, I'm not really feeling history this week. I need a little help with that. So you want your child to be a little bit more open. So a first aid kit is always handy. And when they do bring home that grade that you don't really like, figure out what we can do next time to help. Do we need to utilize our compass and our roadmap more? Do I need to email the teacher and see what else they can offer? Is there tutoring after school? What else can I do to help you? Not nagging them because they brought home a C and you know they can do better. But sometimes we have to sit back as parents and ask them, well, what do you need from me in order to make you a little bit more successful? The next thing in my pack is the actual pack itself. We have to make sure we come prepared, all right? In your book bag, you have your pencils, you have your pens, you have your highlighters, your rulers, your calculators, whatever school supplies. You need your paper, okay? Imagine going to a staff meeting as parents. I'm talking to you parents right now. Imagine going to a staff meeting with just yourself and a smile. And then you say, oh, excuse me, you hold up the church finger and say, oh, I have to run back to my office real quick because I left my pen, I left my calendar, I left my reports. Your boss gonna look at you like you crazy. All right, so it's the same thing when it comes to your child in a classroom setting. Even if you don't know what page to turn into with history, you should at least have your pencil out and your paper and your notebook ready to go. All right. If your child spends the first 10, 15 minutes of class shuffling through a book bag, pretending to find supplies that's not there, they know it's not there. It's like when you go look in the refrigerator for some food and walk away and come back thinking food has magically appeared. It doesn't happen that way. So we have to make sure we send our kids prepared to school, because that first 10, 15 minutes that they're shuffling around the book bag, they've completely missed the whole introduction to the lesson. And now they're just that much more behind because they didn't come to school prepared. Keep a set of supplies at home and keep a set of supplies at school, okay, in their backpacks, because we know that sometimes, of course, friends say, hey, can I hold a pencil? And they hold it and never give it back, or supplies mysteriously sprout legs and they don't make it back to the child's book bag. It happens. So we need to make sure we're prepared at home too. So when your child gets back from school and they say, oh, Mom, I have homework, but I left my pencil in my desk, or my friend borrowed. We have pencils in the drawer ready to go. All right. And as parents, I remember one time my daughter came in, this was years ago, and I looked in the drawers and I'm like, ooh, all I have is pens. That's not going to work. And you in elementary school, you got to have a pencil. So you have to make sure you're prepared. So that adventurer's backpack is very, very, very important. The next item, or the last item, I should say, is your travel diary, okay? Every good adventurer knows to keep a record of what they've seen, what they've encountered, what they've heard, what new animals they might have discovered, or what animals they already knew about but still saw them. They might even take a little quick sketch of it. As parents, and in the pandemic, and just in general with school, you have to have your parent folder. All right. The folder can be a, paper folder. I prefer a 3-ring binder for your parent folder, because once your child starts school, it's going to hold a lot of information. And these folders tend to get a little flimsy and break on us by the end of the year. Mine's already halfway through it. This isn't my parent folder, by the way. This is just the folder that I was using for demonstrational purposes. But have your parent folder. Inside that folder should be all of your child's doctor's records, so shot records, physical records, especially if they were going to be in sports. You need your educational documents. So if your child has an IEP or a 504 plan, you need a copy of that in your parent folder. If your child is in any after-school programs, the documentation from that, a copy of your ID needs to be in that folder. Other things such as parent-teacher contact logs. That's the real meat of your travel diary. Always keep a record of when you talk to your child's teacher, especially if you have to go in for a parent-teacher conference. Just like you do at work at a staff meeting, you come prepared. You have your folder. You say, well, I've emailed you on this day, that day, and again last week, and I haven't heard anything. Well, you have your receipts. You have your proof that you've been proactive with your child's education, and you've tried to contact the teacher. You've called the school this many times on approximately this date at this time, whatever AM, PM. All right. So if you have those documents, and if you have the running record of when you talk to somebody, always make sure with that record you jot down what you talked about, or if you left a message, just for a refresher. I tend to do this thing where I'll call because I'm making so many calls throughout the week, but sometimes I'll forget who I said what to specifically. So make sure you keep a running record of who you've spoken to, politely ask the receptionist's name. If there's a front desk person, say, well, who do I have the pleasure of speaking to today? Oh, okay, thank you. So just simple things like that can be advantageous to a parent because you have rights as a parent. And when you want to be proactive and help your child out, you want to have those records on hand. If you have multiple children, the great part about a parent folder is that you can keep all the kids in the same folder. If they're in different grade levels, divide it with dividers. Keep tabs on, like literal divider tabs on each of your children. So if you have one in elementary school and one in high school, put a divider right down the middle. So that way you're not flipping through or shuffling through papers or looking in the big Bible on the kitchen counter to find all the records. They're all right there. So make sure you have your travel diary with you whenever it's time for you to go in for a parent-teacher conference or just for a record to refresh your memory. Make sure you drop your email in the chat. I'm going to drop my email in the chat if you have any questions after the fact. But if you have any questions now, I'm going to open up the floor. You can unmute your mic. You can ask away. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, if you want to drop a comment or a question in the chat, or in the comment section rather, feel free to do so and I'll get back with you ASAP. So if there are any questions, oh, and make sure you put your name in the comments and in the chat to win that gift card too. So any questions? All right, that is my adventurer's pack for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this evening.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dawson. And each, as I mentioned earlier, Ms. Victoria Perry is our elementary mentor coordinator, and Ms. Dawson is our middle school coordinator. Point being that they have provided those packages for all of the students who are in the mentoring program. So parents, be sure and look out for that. Everything she talked about is in that package. And so you should have a lot of fun following through. They've provided and given a packet to all of the kids. So I'm excited and hope they save me a bag. Okay, now I'm going to, we're going to talk about, as you think about any questions that you might have, we're going to talk about just a couple of important dates. And this is, I'm not telling on the kids, but you really want to remember about your important dates. Today is the 15th, Thursday, and our grading period ends. But if I were you, I would do as Ms. Dawson mentioned, go look in that focus and you'll get an opportunity to be sure that they completed all their assignments. So before, as soon as you leave this presentation and listen to that gift card drawing, you need to go and be sure that they've completed all the assignments. And if not, if you're in luck, maybe you can catch the teacher tomorrow. There's a planning day for the teachers, no school for you. And our second 9 weeks, we start a brand new 9 weeks on Monday. And those report cards will be given out on the 26th. So it's so exciting that you have successfully completed 9 weeks. Okay. So at this time, Ms. Burney is going to talk to you about completing a poll for us this evening. We want to be sure that we met your needs and that we answered some of your questions. Ms. Burney.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Norman. I just want one more time for us to just give Ms. Dawson a hand clap, or if you want to put an emoji up, for the great job that she has done. And Mr. Simmons, Ms. Judge, and Ms. Hundley, I just want to remind you and let you know that everything that she had in her little survival bag, I'm a Star gives it to every parent who's being mentored. For every child who's being mentored by I'm a Star, we give them that survival kit bag so that they will be able to go in there and take what Ms. Dawson has said. And we will have it on YouTube so that they can go to the YouTube video if ever they don't remember anything, and they'll be able to see what they can do with the items that are in that kit. So we just wanted you to know that. Also, we ask parents if they want to come on the Zoom, they can. And I think that we have maybe 2 or 3 parents who are on in the Zoom. If you are, could you please type your name in the Zoom, please, and maybe just put parent, because we have a $25 gift card. For those that are on YouTube, we will be giving out the gift card another way. But if you took the time to come on the Zoom, even though you did not have to, we want to reward you tonight. So if you would, if you're a parent, please put your name in the chat and just put parent by it. Okay, and we also, while you're doing that, parents, I have a poll. The poll is also on YouTube so that we can provide Mr. Simmons, Ms. Hunley, and Ms. Judge information to say that the parents did get something out of this session. And we want to be able to show that. So I'm going to do the poll on the screen, and you'll be able to actually share your information. So the first poll says, tonight's meeting was informative. And this is everybody that's on the Zoom. You can actually agree or disagree. And I will launch that poll right now. All right, so thank you. We had parents who felt that it was informative. Okay, so the next poll, the next question is, I will apply what I learned so that my child can be successful. And this is a yes or no. And even if you don't have a child in BTS, but your child may be in high school, will you apply what you learned tonight to assist? Awesome. Okay. We have two more questions, and this one is very important because we entitled this Parenting in the Pandemic and Beyond, because this is as Mr. Simmons said, this is an unprecedented time for everybody. This is just a different time. And so we may come across the fact that some children need help. If your child needs help dealing with the pandemic, answer a yes or no. In the YouTube, please answer. And we will make sure that we provide additional information when we come out to do the mentoring on what we can do to help your child. And Ms. Dawson deals with the BTS at Bridge to Success for their elementary, and Ms. Victoria Perry deals with the ones for the other elementary schools. So we will make note that that's one of the things that we will do, is find ways to help you. And then the final one, do you need help during the pandemic? This has to be difficult. We know that there are some parents who have lost their jobs, some parents who are having trouble dealing with their children on Duval homeroom, etc. But if you yourself need help dealing with that, we'll launch this poll and you just answer those questions for us. Wonderful. So while we're getting ready for the to give away that gift card to those who signed on the Zoom tonight, and then we'll do the other for the YouTube. I'm going to ask, I know that Miss Tracy is on the phone, Miss Tracy Hunley is on the call, and so is Miss Shannon Judge. And I'd just like to ask if they have anything that they would like to share. If you could unmute yourself, Miss Judge or Miss Tracy Hunley.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Definitely.
Ms. Burney, I just want to say that I am very thankful for the time that you and your team spends with the students every day. And I really appreciate the work that you guys do. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Ms. Judge, do you have anything that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you so much for including me in this. although I don't have a child in your program, I have a child, and all of the information that we received tonight has been very, very helpful, and I'm sure helpful to the parents. So thank you again for all the hard work.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Mr. Simmons, before we get ready to do this drawing, can you give us some closing remarks, if you don't mind?
Certainly. Again, very, very amazing. Ms. Dawson, thank you so much for that outstanding presentation and delivery of information to our parents. And certainly on the behalf of Duval County Public Schools and our office, we know and really appreciate the amount of work that goes into reaching out to students, parents, community members each and every day. And I am just so proud to have the opportunity to work with the Amastar Foundation for the benefit of children in Duval County Public Schools. But more importantly, this work goes all the way to families in Duval County in the Jacksonville community. So Ms. Burney, thank you so much. Parents, please, please, please make sure that we're here to support you. So if you're having difficulty in any way, we want to know about it, because we can't do this work without you. We need you, and we want to be that mechanism for support for you. Ms. Burney, I do have an ask.
Yes, sir.
I have got to get that video.
Okay. I will definitely send it to you. I will definitely send it to you.
Thank you so much. And I thoroughly enjoyed this evening. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you. So we're going to get ready for the big drawing. Just give me 1 second so that I can pull up our wheel. And let me go to my share screen. Okay, now the names that I have on here are the parents that signed in. So we're going to spin this wheel, and whoever it lands on, Ms. Dawson will be getting this $25 gift card to you. And once we if you win, make sure that you sign your name and your address into the chat, so that we can make sure that if we can't get you at the school, we can mail it to you. So here's the wheel. And the winner is Naya Smith.
All right. All right.
Naya Smith, are you on? Can you unmute yourself? Okay, if not, then I'd like to just thank the members of the Amastar Foundation. I am just so pleased and blessed to have such a wonderful staff. I don't consider them staff, we're just workers together. And we just have one goal in mind, and that is to empower young people to unleash their inner greatness. So to all of you, we want to make sure that we are always mindful of our time. It is 7:55. It is time for us to go, because we don't want to overstay our time. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you on YouTube, and everyone have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.